Hey everybody, this is Mike Sandoval here for MUSE TV, and this is a special episode of Sound and Vision with the amazing Boney James. How's it going tonight?
It's going very well. Thanks for having me.
I'm honored to have you on MUSE TV. I've been a big fan.
Right.
My
Thank you.
dad was one of the people who brought me into jazz, and I got into you through my dad. And what is it like coming home? This is a homecoming show for you. What does it feel like to be here?
Yeah, I live like 20 minutes from here, and this is a beautiful historic venue to be playing. We played here a few times, but it's been a couple of years since we've been here, so I'm really excited about it, and sharing the stage with a couple legends tonight too, Bob James, David Sanborn, and Marcus Miller.
Right.
So, to be playing this beautiful venue on a beautiful night in LA, there's nothing like it.
Exactly, and it's such a beautiful night, and the Greek Theater is one of the best venues here in LA. Let's talk about honestly.
Okay.
The album's been out already, but it still has legs. What do you think? Because the songs on the album are just amazing. What has kept it up for so long now?
I hope it's the songs. When I when I turned the record in, and I just got the chance to listen to it myself, more as just an audience member, I really was, really proud of it. And just the songs that I wrote for this record, it's almost all original material. There's one standard on there. I just felt like the songwriting had stepped up a little bit, and I'm hoping that's what the fans are responding to. I mean, of course, we've been out there touring, and every time we go to a new town, we're sort of introducing it to people. But the radio's been great, and like you said, it's got legs, so it's a real gift. I'm super grateful.
Exactly, and one of my favorite tracks is "Up All Night."
Cool.
I love that track.
We're opening the show with that
Awesome,
tonight,
awesome. It's such an interesting track because it's something different than I've heard your music before, but it was something different, something a little.
Yeah, I mean, it's funky. I co-wrote that with a young. He was the guitar player in my band when he was in his early 20s, and then he left and started concentrating on writing and had some tracks with Robin Thicke and Anthony Hamilton. He's just had a song on Nicki Minaj record, so he's been doing great stuff as a writer. So we got together and tried to write some songs. We ended up writing 4 songs for the record, and that's one of them. And see, it starts with this whole basic guitar premise, and then I add all my other arrangement stuff around it, and then it's turned into this weird sort of hybrid of young LA guitar player meets Tower of Power with Boney James on top, and it just has like really interesting vibe.
Well, let's go back in time a little bit, because you moved here to LA when you were in your high school years.
Yeah.
What was some of your influences from some of the jazz scenes in LA? Because we had a lot of jazz artists come into LA and perform.
Well, I wouldn't be playing a saxophone if it wasn't for Grover Washington Jr. And I heard that record right around when I moved to town in 1975, 76, when Mr. Magic came out. And, that was pretty, he's a Philly guy.
Yeah.
But it was when I moved here that I heard that. And then, there was just a lot of really great, cool music coming around. When I was in high school, mid-'70s, it was just sort of a real renaissance for music. Earth, Wind & Fire, Stevie Wonder, Grover, the Crusaders, all these great bands mixing genres, and that's kind of the tradition I'm trying to continue today.
Awesome, awesome. And one thing I do want to talk about is your legacy with some of the bands. When you started, some of the artists that you played with, the Isley Brothers, Morris Day.
Yeah.
How did that all come about, and how did that come into to play?
I graduated from college, but I had decided I wanted to try and make it in show business, and so I got a job delivering pizzas and trying to figure out how to make a living as a musician. And Morris Day had just broken up with The Time right after Purple Rain, and he moved to LA to put a solo band together. So they were looking for a keyboard player, and even though I was mainly a sax player, I played a little keyboards. So I thought I would go audition to see if I can get out of this restaurant I was working in, and they hired me. And I had to convince them afterwards I was a sax player. So then they worked the sax into the show too. But that started my career of being a sideman that could play keyboards and saxophone. And I bounced from Morris to Tina Marie to the Isley Brothers, Bobby Caldwell, and all these great bands, which was kind of like my real school, to learn how to be a musician.
Exactly, and 4 Grammys later, here we are, to where we're at right now at the Greek. What's the future looking like for Boney James?
Well, we're still touring, as you said, behind the Honestly record. We've got another 20-some-odd shows, I think, coming up. But I have started working on the next record, and I'm getting excited about some new music. So maybe mid-2020, we'll have a whole new experience to be talking about.
Awesome, and hopefully you come on. We said we could talk about it. Hopefully do a little performance for us in the office.
Thank you, man.
Done. And last question, before I let you go so you get ready for tonight's show. What is it about LA that really brought your music scene, and what really pulled in everything for the music scene?
Well, I think for me, a big part of it was just hooking up with other musicians, and we shared the same interests. I got into a band in high school, and then that became my whole life for like a good 7 years there, and we were trying to get a record deal, and so it was really just the meeting the right people, and but maybe the music would have happened anywhere. It's hard to say how your life would turn out if you were in a different town, but worked out well for me, thankfully.
Awesome. Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad and so honored to have you here on Muse. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to what we see in the future. And don't forget to check them out, boneyjames.com. It's where you can find you. Social media, where could they find you on social media again?
All the links are on the website, so boneyjames.com is sort of your one-stop shop.
And if you haven't heard them, go to iTunes, buy an album. You're going to love it. You'll be a fan forever.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks.
Appreciate it.